Hello, I'm Trudy, One Grounded Angel. This is the weekly angel card reading video for the week starting Monday, October 25th through to the 31st, 2021. So I'll start shuffling for this week and we'll see what the angel cards can tell us to help us navigate whatever's coming up in our lives. So Monday's card is Truth Be Told, one of the most beautiful in this card deck, in my opinion. The symbolism of the owl, wisdom, on top of a mask, symbolizing, not being authentic or pretending to be something we're not. The owl has got this door or window over the heart and lots of hearts. I think their hearts are coming out, and there's I guess blue skies through there. And I think the symbolism of opening up the heart and being authentic and how that sets us free, lets love flow. And so this is all about being authentic. If you are pretending to be something you're not, it's this is sort of a call for you to try and be more authentic. Now, I would say with that, if you are a light worker or a spiritual healer, you've got to be careful with this one. You do not go around, or it's best not to go around revealing all the complexity of what you are bringing to the world to every single person, because some people are going to be in resistance to that. And you do not need to, I don't go around telling everybody that I'm an energy healer. I'll often tell some version of that and that's not a lie, that's self-protection. So we do have to be careful here. It's not saying we go from being completely hidden to being completely out there. It's just about where we are being called to be more authentic and open, to do that. So to our closest friends, for example, or our partner, if there's some part of us that we're not expressing or we're suppressing, that needs to come to the surface and be examined. It can also be for people who there's some truth that they need to face up to. Maybe it's something in their relationship that they need to be honest about or to deal with. Maybe it's in the job situation. Maybe they're realizing that they've outgrown the job and they don't want to deal with that problem because it means they're going to have to do something about it. This is the problem with the truth. Once we face it, we have to act on it. And this is why a lot of people prefer to live in denial. This card is saying, don't be living in denial. The truth can set you free. Remember the Gloria Steinem quote, though. The truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. So there is that. Let's not pretend this is a comfortable process. But, the effort, the emotional energy, involved in pretending to be something you're not, or going along with something that's really not okay, it's exhausting. So sometimes letting go of that is going to be beneficial, even if it causes, problems or headaches, just to avoid having to expend that amount of energy pretending to go along with something that's just not authentic for you. So Tuesday's card, much more simplistic, the ocean. Here's the beach. I love the beach. Every time you've got the beach, let's say you dream, I used to have a lot of dreams about being at the beach. The beach is symbolizing wide horizons and expansion and infinite possibility. So that could speak to you if you're feeling like you've painted yourself into a corner or you're a bit stuck. This card could be simply there to remind you that you do have options and that there are a lot more things going on in the situation that you can't see yet. There are more things to reveal themselves to you. The ocean, water is obviously super symbolic in a spiritual sense. This could literally be a message for you to spend time around water. If you're not near the ocean, it could be a river or a lake. Ideally something where there is a movement of water, not necessarily still water, because that tidal kind of flow is really good for stirring our emotional energy and helping get some clearing there. If you've ever felt like you feel better about a problem that you've been struggling with after going to the beach, it's not your imagination. And it could also be around needing to cleanse yourself of something. Some of you, there could be a number of different ways. That practical meaning there about needing to spend more time at the beach to get a better emotional flow going on, so you're not getting stuck and weighed down by those heavier emotions. Or perhaps at a more, metaphoric level, it's more about you needing to get some clearing in terms of what's going on within your energy. There's a lot of different ways to look at that. Oh, okay, I just started shuffling and the card deck fell out of my hand, so I'm going to say that was not the right card deck. And okay, Wednesday's card, manifestation power. I may have shared this with you before, but every time I say this card, The wings look like flames to me, which I love because that idea of power is so attached to the idea of fire. So it is a really empowering message here about taking control of the situation. That could be all you need from this, about taking control of the situation instead of just sitting back and hoping it gets better. But it could also be about you using your power to manifest something better for yourself. There is a ton of information online about the law of attraction, about manifestation. I'm not going to go into that here, but if you want to know more, certainly look it up. The thing I always add when I'm talking about manifestation or the law of attraction is there are some things that maybe aren't always expressed in a lot of spiritual writings that we really need to know. For a start, if we're trying to manifest something, we need to remember we have to keep doing the work. We can't just put it out to the universe and wait for it to happen. Taking action is a big part of the way we take back our power. So that's important. The other thing is you also have to be dealing with anything within your energy that might be blocking you from that outcome. For example, fears. If you've got a big fear around being exposed or being visible in the world in some way, but you're also trying to manifest a business that will put you front and center where people will be judging you, you're going to unconsciously block that if that fear is going on. So you need to be working with an energy healer to help diminish that fear. We can't get it to go away entirely. Fear doesn't work that way, but certainly to turn down the volume on it so you're not actually blocking that flow of what you're trying to manifest. There's no point putting out to the universe something you want and then actively pushing it away with the other. That energetic flow, it's just not going to work. So that's another thing we need to think about with manifestation. And the other thing, which I just wrote a blog post about last week, is that it takes time. There's a lot of information online saying it can happen really quickly. Sometimes it can, but a lot of the time I find when we're trying to manifest something, we need to be patient. We need to exercise a lot of patience. It does take time. So if you're working on something right now and it's not happening, do not give up. It does not mean that it's not going to happen. It just means it takes time. So keep committing to that goal and working towards it. And that's, again, you taking back power instead of just sitting back and getting annoyed. I know, easier than done. I'm someone who likes to throw in the towel when things get too hard. So I hear you if that's where you're at. We just need to take a step back sometimes for a couple of days and then recommit and come back to it. Thursday, love how similar the colouring is on these cards. Leadership, again, that orange, that fieriness is coming through. And this is a really empowering card as well, leadership. Archangel Gabriel is here associated with communication. So if there is a message you need to put out to the world or express yourself, perhaps going back to this authenticity message from Monday, Gabriel's a good person to call on, a good angel, I should say, not a person. So that could be part of it. That could be the leadership part for you. It's not about you being a leader necessarily in a literal sense. It could be about you being a role model maybe in some way by taking charge of a situation or sharing your message or speaking up for something that needs to be advocated for or needs attention drawn to it. But as I say, it could literally be about a leader. If you are getting a leadership opportunity for your work, for your community, family, something like that, this is letting you, and you want to do it. This is letting you know you are capable of doing that and that you are ready, even though you don't feel ready. There will be things that you learn along the way if you feel like you are not quite good enough yet. You probably are good enough, you just don't feel 100% prepared, and nobody ever does. So this is saying go for it, essentially. The other thing is this can be about being a leader to yourself, which I know sounds a bit weird since it's just you, but there are all these different competing voices going on within us. There's a voice of the ego that wants us to only do things that are safe, and that's the voice that says, no, you can't do that. You're not good enough. Or don't do that. People will be judging you, that sort of thing. You've also got the voice of the intuition, which is saying, you can do this. Give it a go. Come on. Depending on the situation, of course. So it's not about getting rid of one voice and only listening to another. It's just about hearing them both and just deciding which is feeling right for me. Hopefully it will be your intuition, but sometimes that's not always how it goes. And maybe you need to let that voice be the leader guiding you, that deep gut feeling that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, so I'm going to give it a go, even if it makes me look stupid or any of the other things that you might be worried about. It's very much about guiding others, this card, but I also think there's something to be said for guiding ourselves, supporting ourselves, backing ourselves, encouraging ourselves, that sort of thing as well. That's a big leadership role. We can't ask for directions for people who haven't been where we want to go. That's something Glennon Doyle talks about a lot. So maybe the person that you need to ask for advice is just yourself, even though you haven't been there yet either. That was Thursday. What have we got for Friday? Purification. So this is about that cleansing message again, I guess, could come up here. It does say, by purifying your life of negative people, places and experiences, you attain true peace. So I'm getting the feeling that some of you are still holding energy from a particular situation or person that is holding you back. We can't only ever associate with people who are, totally happy. Everybody's got stuff that they bring to the table, and people who are struggling are worthy of our time. We can't just block them and go, oh no, good vibes only. That's not really the full human experience. So but in saying that, people who are toxic, who are dumping their drama on us, who are taking and not giving anything back, we do need to be careful about how we manage our time with those, if we manage our time with those sorts of people. But this might be something specific that needs to be cleared. Often I find that if this is going to come up in a personal reading, the person will know. They'll know what it is. Oh yeah, it's my workmate, or oh, this is actually my job. It's too negative for me. It's too toxic and competitive, and I'm not being supported. Whatever it is, I'm just giving examples at the moment. So something that you need to let go of and cleanse yourself of, perhaps. And just make sure what's coming through as well is the need for you to be empowered. Sometimes we're blaming other people for what they're bringing to the table, even though we may be right to do that. That gives us a way of dodging responsibility. We also need to be responsible here for the way that we might be engaging in that. Do we keep calling up this person to chat, even though we know that they're just going to complain and we're going to end up feeling drained at the end of the conversation? So, it's that saying, don't call other people clowns. Instead, maybe ask yourself why you keep going to the circus. So there is a degree of needing to be responsible for our choices and how we might be contributing to this situation. Okay, let me go to Saturday's card. Balance. Very Libran message. So where are you out of balance? I'm very wary about how I talk about this idea, because we can't have a perfect balance. That's just not how things go. With that said, if we are wildly out of balance in one direction, there are things we can do to pull ourselves back. If we are spending, if we are working 7 days a week, that's a problem. It's going to take a toll on your mental health, your physical health, your relationships, etc. I don't need to tell you that. You already know that. So we need to find a better way to manage that, unless it's just short term, of course, which is different. If we are wildly out of balance in terms of we're partying all the time, that's going to be an issue as well. It's going to deplete our resources, and again, it adversely affects our relationships, our physical health, etc. So you don't have to try and aim for a total balance, but you do have to look for what are the things I can do that are manageable and realistic that will help me get closer to a better balance, or at least get me not so out of balance. Looking at that, I think balanced friendships comes through there as well. The idea of balanced friendships. There are times when a friend will need more from us than what we need from them. Maybe they're going through a divorce or an illness or something. But we can't always, in the long term, be in a situation where it's always about the other person's needs. So look at the balance. If your whole relationship history with this person is them, leaning on you, and you not, being able to lean on them, or you not getting anything back, you really need to look at why are you contributing to that dynamic. Is there self-worth issues going on with you? Are you wanting to be distracted from the work you need to do on yourself? Are you feeling like, this is your job, you have to be useful, and you just have to be a martyr about it? Whatever's going on with you, you have to look at that. Sunday's card is very simple. Archangel Michael. Michael is associated with courage, confidence and strength. the wording on this card is, I am with you, giving you the courage to make life changes that will help you work on your divine life purpose. So whether you're working on your life purpose or not, Michael is here to help you. So for me, I feel that it is very much about needing to make necessary changes here. And a lot of the cards have pointed to that, needing to be more authentic, needing to take charge of the way we spend our time where we're out of balance, needing to work on manifesting what we do want instead of tolerating what we don't want and just hoping things passively get better without any engagement from us. So stepping up, being courageous about that, and needing to have the confidence. Now, if it's too hard for you to have confidence in yourself, I get that. Maybe you could try instead to have confidence in the universe, or confidence that things can get better. That's maybe where it needs to start from, even though you don't know how that's going to look just yet. So making changes, taking back power is very strong this week, and moving closer towards what you're here to do, I think, for some of you as well. So interesting week. I hope that those messages have been meaningful to you, that you've been able to get something helpful from that. If you haven't, that's okay. Maybe by the time each day comes around on Instagram, you'll see the card and it will trigger something within you. Sometimes they just give us these messages to plant a seed that will be meaningful later on. Sometimes we just need to see these messages to give us hope or reassurance. Sometimes we need to see them because they're going to be helpful to someone else later on. There are all sorts of reasons we see these cards. Don't worry if you're seeing them on the quote-unquote wrong day. Whenever you see the message is when you need to see it, most probably, even if it doesn't actually need to be activated on that particular day. So my Instagram, as I mentioned, is where all these cards go, and that that handle is @OneGroundedAngel, @OneGroundedAngel. Facebook page as well. I also have Facebook called One Grounded Angel, and don't forget my website is the place to reach me if you want to book a session with me, you want to know more information about the work I do, www.onegroundedangel.com. And if you want to book a personal session with me that is done over Zoom, you have to book it via the website. I don't do bookings over social media because that is how scammers operate scams. They try and take money from people over social media. I only operate bookings through the website. So that is where you need to go, and you'll be able to tell straight away if it's mine or if it's a fake one. Thanks for being here, everybody. I hope you have a good week. Take care out there. It's an interesting time, but if we are investing in ourselves and just helping ground ourselves, particularly spending time near water, that can really help us feel grounded no matter what's going on in the world. Take care.